Daily Pickle! Daily Pickle!
It's a Daily Pickle! Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. You heard Dallas Braden talking about Louis Arise and him being injured in that bang-bang play. They probably just want his senses to come back to him and make sure there's no whiplash or anything else from slamming into a guy at first base. But Spencer Strider's more different. When you pull a hammy as a pitcher and you're coming off of arm injuries, that's the scariest. I remember when Eric Gagne went through this. This ended his career. He had a torn ACL. He came back. Yeah. They rushed him back. They changed his mechanics, and then he got his second Tommy John surgery because he'd had one as a younger player.
Is this Dodger Gagne?
Yeah, Dodger Eric Gagne, who was like
I'm saying, well, he
120 saves in a row, Gagne.
But before the Dodgers, he was off and run with other people, too.
Oh, yeah. No. And again, so anytime there's a leg injury on a pitcher, I'm like, okay, until this guy's like 100%, I'm not putting this guy back on a mound and letting him throw downhill and possibly injure his arm. And it's always the scariest thing. I remember guys I played with, they would wrap up a hamstring or a groin injury, and I'm like, dude, you're going to go out and pitch like that? Well, I got to. You could hurt your arm. I said, that's your moneymaker. You don't want to hurt your arm. So, Arise, you're trying to get your head clear. Obviously it was a huge impact play at first base, but it used to be 15 days. Now it's 10. It's shortened. You could what is the word I'm looking for? Retroactive. Yeah. You can go back a couple days from when the guy got injured, and so that actually shortens the time that you're away from the team. But all of this is to make sure these guys are there for the stretch run. And Arise started slow, got hot, gets hurt. Couldn't be a bad time, a worse time to get hurt because he's swinging the bat so well. But I think at the same time, listen, you can't control injuries. And when you get that kind of shocker where they have to take you off on a gurney and your head is strapped to a board, that's got to be some scary psychological effects that they don't want that to linger too long.
Again, this was a collision at first base, a bang play. We covered this yesterday. Arise, taking it off the field, but he did come back in that game.
He came back in that game and was in the locker room with the team.
Right. We did just talk to Dallas Braden. We were talking about all of their good things that are going on in their roster, their lineup, but also their rotation. We know about J.P. Sears. He's playing pretty good. I think Luis Severino leads the league in innings pitched. But the other guy that's really been coming on is the Springs guy that's going to be looked at. He's day-to-day right now. But
he's got a bad hamstring.
Another bad hamstring that could lead to other things, just like you're talking about with Strider.
Listen, I don't like things like that because you're always going to favor an injury. Then you could possibly hurt the other leg. And then, now you're not balanced. The one thing about pitching that is it's fragile is your balance, is your lower half. And, I've been teaching this for 35 years now, and I always try to get these guys to build up their leg strength, build up their core, and so that you're always going to protect your arm. Your core will protect your arm in the end. So any of these guys that are pitchers and they have leg injuries, got to be extra cautious with them.
Yeah, especially, man, there's just a lot of rotations that have been sidelined because of something already in April, and everyone's trying to deal. Man, these AAA guys need to really stay warm because there's been some call-ups already in necessity. We will see a guy that went down to AA. Kurt got the scout for us over there at the Dunk when the Sea Dogs were in to play our Hartford Yard Goats, but Brian Bayo making his first start tonight against the Mariners after that stint on IL.
Listen, Lucas Giolito right now, he struck out 4, allowed 3 earned runs and 6 hits, but he went 5 innings in a rehab start on Sunday in Double-A Portland. I'm sure it wasn't that warm, so that's actually a good thing. He is nursing a hamstring as well, so they have to be cautious. They're putting his date coming back at April 30th.
What are you looking for Bayo tonight? You on a pitch count with this guy?
I think he threw around 90 pitches down here in the minor. I don't think it's the pitch count you're worried about, and I think the next day, if he didn't have any kind of lingering effects, no soreness, things like that, I don't think there should be a pitch count because, listen, these guys are already 85 to 105. Anywhere in there in the 5th, 6th inning, we're going to the bullpen. We're going to destroy the bullpen. I was looking at numbers today. Do you know we have 390 pitchers and 390 everyday players in the big leagues right now? That's absurd. Yeah. So half and half, 13 pitchers, 8 in the bullpen. Yeah. That's what we've become.
Oh, yeah.
So you're taking like 2 guys off the bench, maybe a third catcher, bammo, stick them in the bullpen. I don't get that. I don't want my bullpen to be a game decider. And you brought it up, and it was awesome. The only 2 complete games so far of the hundreds of games we've already played. And it's like you're playing with these bullpen guys' arms. You're wearing them out way before they should be worn out, because it's not just what people don't understand. You're getting up sometimes 3 times in a game, and you don't get in the game.
Yeah, just warming up.
You're just warming up, and you throw maybe 50 to 100 pitches. You get hot. Some guys are different. Like I would throw unless I definitely knew I was going to the game, I would the second time I got up, I'd get up and maybe toss 3 pitches and stand there. I'm like, you're not going to milk my arm to death by warming up. It's not going to happen. And I learned that the first couple of years, because I actually went back and looked at some numbers, and I was in like between 70 and 75 games a year, would throw my first 3 years when I was in the big leagues, 100 innings a year. And on top of that was the warm-up before the game, the throwing in the bullpen, things like that. And those are the pitches that I feel hurt my career in the end. Because in the early days in the minor leagues, when I went from starter to reliever, I didn't understand you don't have to warm up and throw 50 pitches at max effort in the bullpen. You want to throw your 20 to 30 in the game at max effort. The other ones, you just want to get loose. So and I had a great roommate, Norm Charlton, where we'd always discuss this kind of stuff. And it's like, listen, throw your first 5 to 10 pitches, get loose, and then stand there, and then just kind of play catch. And make sure that you have enough juice to go back out in the game and get people out. And that's what you see it a lot. A lot of people don't understand. They'll be like, well, why did that starter get destroyed? Well, the guy might have had a bad warm-up, or he might have had a great warm-up. And psychologically, he comes out of his 50 pitches in the bullpen before a game, and he thinks, oh, I'm going to kick the crap out of this team. And then whack, 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 whack. All of a sudden, he gives up 5 hits in the first inning, 3 runs, and he's like, what just happened in those 30 pitches? And that's baseball. That's the beauty of baseball. Yeah. And then there's guys that could tell you. This is the best quote that I love from Roger Clemens. He talked about his career. I think he had about 500 starts, maybe 450. And he said of those 450, he said he had his best stuff maybe 100 times. So about 350 times, Roger Clemens took his stuff to the mound and still won 350 games.
Figured it out.
So, yes, he figured it out. And I'm sure Maddox did it. Randy Johnson, all these guys. When you go out there, you will rarely have your best stuff. And I'm sure Michael Jordan figured it out, and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. That's part of playing these games. You've got to figure it out and execute. That's why I loved what Dallas was talking about. I say it all the time. Just do your job. Stop Cadillacing like Kellenick. Stop doing that crap. Stop wearing gold chains. Do your job. You'll get paid very well, and people will remember. And you brought up Jose Ramirez. We don't bring him up enough. Yeah. That guy is amazing. Aaron Judge is amazing. We don't talk about this guy enough because he doesn't talk about himself enough. He doesn't Cadillac home runs. He hits it, and he just kind of jogs around like the Hulk. He's like the Incredible Hulk. The more I watch him, the more I love him, because he doesn't waste unnecessary energy, meaning he doesn't put bad energy out into the universe. He's always just about, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do it well. You're going to call me captain. I don't actually need to unless I do. And if I tap you on the shoulder, you're going to be scared, to death. But I don't normally have to say anything. And Derek Jeter did the same thing. Don Mattingly did the same thing. That's what a leader is. He doesn't have to tell you he's a leader. He shows you.
Cleveland Guardians doing it again against the Yankees today. Will Warren to pitch against the Guardians. Will Warren's decent start. His ERA is definitely different than what his record is. He has had some short leashes, especially last time out against Tampa Bay.
He's like the fifth guy.
He is the fifth guy, a guy they definitely need, though, already with, no Garrett Cole. They're already dealing with that, and I'm sure there's going to be more in the future.
No Stroman.
Stroman as well. No Stroman as well.
Like, okay, buddy, you're the fifth guy.
Really the third guy now.
You're really the third guy now. I mean, these guys keep moving up. And again, not to go back, but, somebody's going to always have to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
And the more guys that get hurt, now the deeper down the depth chart you get, and you're like, okay, this guy was going to be like the third option out of the bullpen. Well, now he's the third starter. And now that pressure is, if you have a bad outing, you go home. Of course, your wife's going to say something. Maybe your mother-in-law or father-in-law says something to you, and it snowballs. You go to the supermarket. I had this during my career. I'd go to Kroger's in Cincinnati, and it'd be like, man, you really sucked last night.
What?
Oh, absolutely. The checkout guy might pop off. It could be Santa Claus in the off season. Everybody had an opinion and feel that they could just throw it out there. And so, yes, it's mentally taxing because now it's like, I don't want to go to Kroger's ever again.
Oh, man,
I don't want to go to the mall ever again. Oh my God. And it's like, and then, well, this person heard that they were talking about you on WLW, and it's like, I don't want to hear it. So it's like it never stops if you're not doing well. Now, when you're doing well, you're supposed to do well. Nobody says anything.
Right.
Nobody even gives you compliments.
Exactly.
But when you're doing bad, everybody's going to notice.
I have noticed the Rockies only have 4 wins right now. I have not noticed who's the best team in baseball, but I do notice that they're very bad. The one thing I've noticed,
the A's have 10 wins, dude. They're 8-5 on the road. They suck at home. 2-7 at home. You got to fix that. You got to spin that around.
They're trying to make new fans there. Everybody in Sacramento is just happy Major League Baseball teams are coming around. They're not A's fans. They're Kings fans. Like they have
you should be happy you got a ball club.
They have more Chris Webber jerseys in that town than they have anything Oakland A's or A's.
I'm telling you,
whatever.
It's in the water because of I think 3 or 4 teams that have winning records on the road. One is the Giants and one is the A's. So it's got to be the Bay Area.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll keep track of that. Man, the Chicago Cubs got a game tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the game du jour. Dustin May on the mound for the Dodgers.
Big Red.
Shota Imanaga back to get the Dodgers.
Rookie of the year.
Who, Shota?
I think he was rookie of the year.
Was he? No,
Dude,
no. Oh, God. It's going to kill me. Well, he got hurt. He got hurt at the end of the year.
Was it Bush? Who won Rookie of the Year in the National League last year?
Look it up. Might have been Shota. Michael Bush has been wonderful, though. But I love that game.
Michael Bush is crushing it right now.
These Dodgers.
You know who's not?
Born on my side.
Dansby Swanson.
No, Dansby's not being the Mansby right now. Yeah, he needs some more frozen dinners to get back into.
You know who I love, and he's the fastest kid I've ever seen, is Pete Crow Armstrong.
PCA, man. PCA. Kind of looks like me, don't you think?
He does look kind of like you, but he doesn't blow his hamstrings out, though. Thankfully.
No, he can really kick it into 4th gear without having to fear the hamstrings are going to blow, unlike yours truly.
So who's Nico Horner?
Nico, the second baseman, the horny man. He's one of the better bats. Yeah, he's been playing really good balls. I just think this matchup's really good because of the pitchers. But, yeah, you throw all the big names in the lineup and show.
So do you think Michael Bush has a Bush beer?
Dude, I say this all the time. Whenever I look around and somebody's talking good about Michael Bush, I'm like, why didn't the Cardinals draft this guy?
No kidding.
It's spelled B-U-S-C-H.
It's Bush beer.
It's totally made for St. Louis.
It's all I could afford.
It's got to be a salt
Skis
in the wound.
won Rookie of the Year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get the heck out of here. He played like 20 games.
He played more than Shota. He deserves it more than Shota. Even though I'm a Shota guy, he deserves it more. But Shota's he's not like 19 like Skeens is. He's like, Skeens ain't 19.
No, Skeens is 22, 23.
But that's going to be a good game. The Mets-Phillies series is good. Started with it last night with Lindor's home runs and to get that win 5-4. It's not like the biggest pitching matchup in the world, but it is going to be a good ball game. And the next couple are going to be good. I think that is going to be a future playoff series.
I think the best part about the Mets being in first place right now by 3 games and 16-7, the Braves they're such trash right now and injured.
Hard to believe.
It is hard to believe.
They're pitching undecided tonight too, by the way.
They got a lot of issues. They have won 4 in a row to get to 9 wins. But the best thing about it is your best player, Soto, is not playing well.
Right.
And I can't say that because I do know that everybody around him is flourishing while he is working through trying to figure out the zone. But listen, this guy will hit. He's still a superstar. It's not about the money at this point. But the fact that you've won 5 in a row, you lead your division right now early, that's awesome. And you're 10-1. So everybody at Citi Field, which I think is top 5 stadiums in Major League Baseball, you got to be happy as heck if you're a Mets fan right now.
Yeah, I agree. It will. You said it's not about the money right now, but I can't.
No, in 3 years, if he were to struggle. But listen, Lindor got there. He struggled. And he just signed like a $350 million, excuse me, not $350 extension, and struggled for a couple years. But My job is to make you struggle. My job is not to feed you fastballs down the middle of the plate and let you rip them for home runs and make me look stupid and lose my job.
Yeah.
I'm going to expand the strike zone. And this is a guy that takes a lot of walks, and he is taking his walks. That's what it is. But he's just not getting his 2 for 4 or 2 for 3. And that will happen. He's hitting the occasional home run. He's a clutch guy. Had the game-tying hit the other night. I mean, I'm watching all of his at-bats. He's not doing anything different. All the pitchers are, though. All the pitchers are like, I'll take my medicine with Alonso. I'll take my medicine. Vientos is not hitting yet either. So Vientos, that guy was awesome last year. All of these guys right now, when they start hitting and they could really go on a run and win like 19 out of 25, that's the kind of stuff you want to do with this team.
So the Phillies are going to run Chris Sanchez out there tonight.
Good
and
pitcher.
Griffin Canning for the New York Mets. That's your pitching
Yeah,
matchups.
you got Manaea on the IL. Frankie Montas is on the IL. So
Clay Holmes is your number one starter as a closer last year.
McNeil's out. Alvarez is out.
Forgot about McNeil.
Mauricio is out.
Alvarez
Siri
ain't
is
coming back.
out.
I kind of like this catcher they got in there for Alvarez.
Madrigal is out. Steve Cohen just had to go on the IL for 10 days.
Need him. Need that bat.
Need that. You need his check signing.
Yeah, the pen that's shaped in a bat.
At least he could cover the checks.
That bat.
When those Wilpons were there, they didn't have the cash. They lost it all.
Yeah, we didn't need that bat.
Yeah, and we didn't, and we certainly didn't want those checks signed by them. They bounced. We'll be right back on the Rob Dibble Show with David Benedict, our weekly hit with the athletic director of the University of Connecticut. A lot of business to talk about, a lot of sports to talk about, but David Benedict is one of our favorites as well every week. Yeah, we will have the UConn AD next.